Our first presenter will be Tim Boodey, who's the senior engineer for New Hampshire DOT, Bureau of Bridge Maintenance. Next, Tim Boodey from New Hampshire DOT will begin his presentation on what they're doing for bridge deck preservation with sealers in the state of New Hampshire. Let me turn this over to Tim.
Hello, good morning, good afternoon, as the case may be. So for those of you unaware, New Hampshire is located in the northeast in New England, border of the states of Maine and Vermont, the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, and the province of Quebec. We do have in-state bridge maintenance forces, so we'll be discussing some of the work that we do in-house, as well as work done by the contractor. I think some people refer to the region of the country as the snow belt. As a bridge maintenance practitioner, I think it's more applicable to refer to it as the salt belt. It seems like that's kind of what we keep fighting year after year. Just a little background information. Per state RSA, New Hampshire, all structures having a span greater than 10 feet are considered bridges. So the New Hampshire DOT maintains 2154 bridges. Of those, about 60% meet the federal highway definition of a bridge. We are primarily a membrane and pavement state. We have somewhere around 140 concrete to grade bare decks. We're using the term bare decks moving forward through the slides. I have a couple photos of bare decks. The top is a job that bridge maintenance crews did, the superstructure and deck replacement, completed about 6 years ago. And then underneath is one completed by a contractor. That was a rapid precast bridge construction at butted box beams with a reinforced concrete overlay. Bridge maintenance and bridge work is coordinated through two different bureaus in New Hampshire. The first is the Bureau of Bridge Maintenance, where I work. We perform all cyclic and routine maintenance that's done on our existing infrastructure. We do condition-based repairs and preventive maintenance work, element rehabilitation and replacement, and we're also available for emergency call-outs and response. The Bureau of Redesign is responsible for the design and preparation of contract documents for projects that are performed by contractors. I'll be referring to this as the capital program later slides. They're also responsible for the bridge inspection and ratings for state and municipally maintained bridges. There are four types of sealants that we apply in New Hampshire. First is a penetrating sealer, silane, as Tom discussed previously. And we're using this just to seal up the concrete surface. This is a product that's applied by contractors doing the capital projects. They apply to new and existing concrete surfaces on bridges that they worked on. It's applied by bridge maintenance to existing structures on a 4-year cycle. So our crews have a set number of bridges that they maintain. We endeavor to wash those bridges on an annual, biannual basis. And then on a 4-year cycle, we'll follow up with a silane application to the surfaces. New Hampshire does have a qualified product list item for silane. It includes some in-house testing that's done. And we do have a specification included in our standard specification book that discusses material properties as well as construction requirements. We also do some crack sealing. We use both epoxy-based as well as methyl methacrylate crack sealers. I typed on the slide that it's applied inconsistently in the capital project. That's being a little kind. It's a little bit touch and go about whether or not cracks get sealed during a construction project. We would routinely apply them in bridge maintenance during our construction maintenance activities, and will often follow behind construction projects, sealing up cracks, either in decks or in the curbs. This is also a QPL item with performance criteria in New Hampshire. We don't have a specific specification in our standard specification book for concrete crack sealers. The picture you're seeing is a contract job that, again, has a butted concrete girder bridge with a reinforced concrete overlay. So we have some reflective cracking coming through the rigid overlay that contractors address with a high molecular weight methyl methacrylate sealer. Tom was also referred to Helo sealers. This is not a product we've used a lot, but it's one we anticipate using moving forward a great deal more. The product we've used is a methyl methacrylate-based sealer, cracked as well as the surface, and then we have a broadcast media over the top for friction. It hasn't been applied as part of the capital program. We have a couple bridges in bridge maintenance that we've applied this to based on some observed cracking and surface condition. It's interesting how things come up. We were talking this summer about make it a point of emphasis for our maintenance crews to review their bare deck bridges in their area and to identify candidate projects for products like this. There is a NHDOT QPL item for this item, and for both methylmethacrylate and epoxy-based flood coats. It's not something that's specifically mentioned in a standard spec. The photo here is one of our northern crews applying a methylmethacrylate helo sealer to a bridge deck in Gorham. It's a deck that crew actually replaced about 2002, and we moved into the job to do a expansion joint replacement, and while there, did a sealing on the deck. We also have a little bit of experience applying thin polymer overlays. The particular product that we've used in maintenance half a dozen times includes a primer, which is really just a methylmethacrylate helo sealer that goes down to seal the cracks and seal the surface. It then gets a two-part polymer overlay with an aggregate broadcast over the top, placed down in 2 layers. This has been applied on a couple different capital projects prior to project closeout, and we've applied this probably to 5 or 6 bridge decks based on observed surface conditions. This isn't something that we have a QPL item for or a standard specification for at the moment. We're fortunate in New Hampshire that we're a relatively small state. We have 12 bridge maintenance crews spread around the state. Each crew is responsible for somewhere between 175 and 250 bridges. They wash those bridges on an annual or biannual basis. So we have eyes that look at our bridges on a regular basis. And I can drive to any state-maintained bridge in the state with about 4.5 hours from my house. So it's relatively easy for us to go out and review our bridge decks. Particularly if there's an emergency or something that was called in, we can have a crew or someone get eyes on it relatively quickly. Based on our conversations this summer about looking to promote deck sealing through the use of a helo sealer or a thin polymer overlay, we started to look at some of the element level inspection data just to see if there was anything that we could pick out of there that would help us either choose candidates or to watch in the future after we apply these products to see if there's any change in that rating. What we've found so far is that the most useful fields in the inspection data are the hand tag fields where the inspectors note cracking and then location. For our bridge design personnel, they're able to also review bridges easily that are coming up in their work plan. They may have a bridge that's in the works for a number of years, and they're able to easily go out and review that deck, review that bridge multiple times if they need to prior to the project advertising. In addition, our bridge inspection teams are run out of bridge design, and so they're reviewing the bridges on a regular interval for the MBI guidance. Now, if you're a bridge design and to some extent bridge maintenance, we also have a list of bridges that we maintain on in a database referred to our maintenance and preservation list. And we put a ranking on that based on data from different sources. So we'll use the bridge inspection data, traffic volumes, the bridge type, the preservation history, and our design chief in bridge design will use that as a starting off point when he's looking for deck preservation projects. Probably the most important thing that factors into the projects that get done is the regular communication we have between bridge design and bridge maintenance, between our inspectors, our maintainers, and the engineers. We've talked quite a bit about deck preservation and what bridges we're going to select as candidates for projects. When it comes to specifications, we do have material specifications for silane waterproofing for our crack sealers and for helo sealers. Again, they appear on our qualified product list with performance criteria. The silane has both material and performance-based criteria, and that's partly based on in-house testing that gets done by our research folks. Concrete crack seals and helo sealers are on our list based on the material properties as verified by independent lab test results. We do not currently have a list of approved thin polymer overlays. That is something we've discussed with our research folks and something we will look at doing in the future as time allows. In general, we don't do a lot of specification when it comes to surface prep or deck prep prior to applying these. Our qualified product list and our standard specifications refer folks to the manufacturer's recommendation when it comes to surface prep. When it comes to sealing with silane, we generally require just a power wash. With crack sealing, it's a wash and then a blow out with a air lance. With helo sealers and the thin polymer overlays, we generally specify a shot blast when available for the surface prep. to remove grease, oils, loose concrete, things along those lines. A lot of these products are being applied to bridges that have been in service for a number of years, and we want to have a clean surface with a good anchoring profile for those products to adhere to. That was the end of my presentation. I've got a link here for our QPL and for our standard specifications. I assume this presentation will be available through the magic of the internet. If folks want to check those out, and as well as my contact information. As Tom had mentioned, feel free to type questions into the chat box, and we'll get to all of them when the presentations are over. Thank you very much.
The preceding was produced by the National Center for Pavement Preservation. More information can be found on the web at pavementpreservation.org. Additional support provided by Michigan State University.